So fortunately, I have a lot of great listeners and viewers who offer advice and suggestions who I might talk to, interview, a small town I may visit. And somebody suggested the idea of chatting with CJ Rayburn, renowned late model chassis builder, racer. So I got a hold of my good friend Travis Kern, who builds dirt late model engines. And he suggested or told me how to get there, where he is, and help make the connection for me, and I'm very grateful. So here we are at the home and shop here in Whiteland, Indiana of CJ Rayburn. Well, let's try this door. Anyone home? Don Radebaugh here, History Mystery Man, at your service.
Come on back if you want to.
Has CJ been here all that time? 35 years? This is where he has operated from?
Oh yeah, you had the house built, the shop built, everything.
Now, do you work for CJ?
Well, I'm his nephew.
Oh, okay. Oh, you're in the family. Better yet. Is he here today or somewhere?
He's in the house.
He's in the house?
Yeah,
Okay.
He called me and told you.
I got plenty of time. I just wanted to make sure I was in the right place.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If you need anything, just holler.
I sure will. Thank you so much.
Come on in here.
Yes, sir. I'm in.
Hey,
How are you? Good thing I like dogs. Hey, buddy. Here's a girl.
Yeah, it's a girl. She's all right. She
Hey,
just got to
Molly.
check everybody out.
Yeah, that's.
Especially if you have a dog, smell like a dog, she's really going to.
Oh, well, I might have a little of that. Oh, hey. How are you, sir? First thing I see is a piano. Do you play the piano? No. Someone does, huh? Oh, Molly. Hey, Molly's okay. I like dogs. Don't worry about. Oh yeah, I love dogs. Boy, you got some angles there. I wouldn't dare try to take a 5/8 inch wrench from this place. So, does anyone here play the piano? No. You just have a piano. Okay. Well, maybe I'll go play it.
Kids, Sally plays it a little bit.
What does CJ stand for?
Carl Jerome,
Carl Jerome. So, where did you grow up?
Casey County, Kentucky.
Casey County, Kentucky. Where is that?
It's about 50, 60 miles south of Lexington.
Okay. Did you have a good childhood growing up?
Well, yeah. We paid $2 for rent for a month.
$2 for rent?
A month for rent. We had a outside toilet.
Wow. But you had a good childhood growing up?
Yeah, I did. I really did.
You had your parents, had a good relationship with your
Yeah.
parents?
School, I could do anything I wanted to, but I just like my race car driving. I never tried as hard as I could.
Does that mean you didn't
I
try
wanted
hard
my
at school?
people to win.
Yeah, of course, in your cars, but is that to say that you didn't try very hard in school either?
No.
No.
It's pitiful.
How did your father make a living?
My dad worked at Wright in Cincinnati that become GE. Had appendix operation and wound up with something wrong with his legs. They were just, I forget what they call it, phlebitis or something. And he was crippled for 4 or 5 years. My mom, he too much pride to take anything. And my mom done washing and dry, and she'd make about $2 a day then. Well, that wasn't too bad. And
Did you ever go hungry? Did you always have food?
I don't ever remember being hungry in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I know when we would eat, there would be nothing left on the table.
I believe that.
And I don't know, I had a good life. I mean, it was poor, but who the hell, everybody was poor.
You didn't know you were poor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, is that what would be your earliest memory of racing? Would it have come from your boyhood in Kentucky?
I was probably 15 years old, and we went to Danville. And of course, nobody had money. And we climbed up in trees and watched a race.
I love that
was
story.
my first memory of it. It didn't do much for me. And then on 30th of May of 61, I went drag racing. A bunch of us went drag racing and was in my 6-cylinder Ford. And of course, they had a class for 6-cylinders. We got beat the first round. But boy, I liked it. And that week, I went back. I really got involved.
Okay.
Been hooked ever since.
Well, when did you decide that you were getting in the game? I know you got hooked, but when did you decide you were going to get in the game and make it a profession?
Well, I had this old car, and I stumped junkyards, and my dad helped me on it a lot. I don't think he acted like he didn't know what I was doing, but you know, I know he was interested in it. And we done. My dad was one hell of a mechanic, could do anything with nothing. But anyway, I got in the service station business, and all the time I was in there was kind of building engines and hot rodding and all that stuff. Before I knew what was going on, I was buying equipment, and I know we blueprinted stock engines. God, I think they probably still hold records.
Was there anyone early on that influenced you at all, or heroes in the business, or anything like that?
Well, drag racing, and still today, Don Garlitz was probably my biggest hero.
Do you know Don Garlitz?
Oh yeah, he's a great guy.
Yeah, but the drag racing world is a long way from a dirt late model. So somewhere along the way, you made the switch.
I was building engines in a service station. Well, all the dirt track people, they wanted horsepower. Well, to get horsepower, and I think the engine people has went off track now. And they put the horsepower in them. When you put horsepower in an engine, you gotta have it's peaked, it's all in one spot. And I think that's what's wrong with them now. But anyway, I built a few motors there. Hell, they could go out and set a track record when the track was heavy, or win a trophy dash, but when it get feature time, they'd go back. And so I kept trying to get the chassis builder to change some stuff on the car. I had an idea there. Oh, that won't work and that won't work. So finally, I built a chassis. And let's see, when I built the chassis, I found out what was wrong with my motors. And then, you know, from then everything just exploded.
Well, did someone influence you in a way that he taught you how to build a chassis? Or did you teach yourself over an evolutionary process of trial and error?
I just had a lot of good ideas. I looked at front ends on the car, and we modified the spindles in that front end and just done everything real good, real clean on it. And it's really what most people use today.
Are you still using a lot of that fundamental technology
I
you
think
taught
that-
yourself in the beginning?
I think that front end is what everybody uses today.
Which lead?
I done most of my development on pavement
Hmm.
because I wasn't a driver. You don't have to be a real good driver on pavement. You got to have good equipment. So I said, well, this is fitting in good with me. I can learn to drive, and I can already be a winner at 15% driver and 85% car. And that really helped the car. You know, when you make a little change on pavement, it really shows up. Dirt, if the driver scoots around the seat, that'll make a big change.
That kind of leads me to my next place. So, the evolution of dirt late model, chassis technology. Do you guys over the years borrow notes from each other? I mean, I look at the evolution of the Rayburn race car and then Bullet, and I know now Rocket chassis is really big. You mix in
Come in there.
Come on in. You mix in Masters built, and so all those chassis, did they borrow some of your technology, see what you're doing, and make it
No.
better, or do you guys all do your own thing?
No, I think most of them guys would just get a chassis and copy it. I know Masterbuilt did. I have heard that Rocket has, and I'm pretty sure that, they all looked at my stuff. I never looked at anybody's stuff. I just had my mind of my own. I'll tell you a good story, Bibbs. This has only been, Masterbuilt probably been building cars for 20 years. And they were doing pretty good, so they had to unload the Masterbuilt. And of course, we all went out and looked at it. And I'd say, this part here looks good. This part looks good. But this right here, I don't see is very good. So the next thing I caught myself doing was running the guy's chassis down, which they made a very good car. Well, I know they made a good car because they copied the thing off of mine. But anyway, their workmanship was good and, just had a good race car. I went to church on Sunday after this, and the preacher was telling about these taxidermists. And they were walking down the street as on a Sunday. Everything was closed, and they were looking in a window at this owl. And they were looking at each other and running this owl down. They said, oh, look at them gimply legs. That could have been done better. We could have done that better than them. And look at this other part here. Its eyes don't look right. We could have done better than that. They should have had us to do it. And they went on and kept running that owl down like the taxidermist had done some bad work on it. About that time, the owl flew away. Did it ever hit me what I had saw here on Thursday, what I was talking about? I really wasn't running their cars down, but I had picked out some things, some of my employees that, maybe we don't want to do that, that don't look good. But anyway, life slaps you right in the face. I try to learn not to run other people's stuff down because I don't know really what it is. And I think people run their stuff down because they just really don't understand it. There ain't much to understand about a chassis.
The innovation process, it never ends, does it?
It never ends.
And you can't just sit still, can you? Or you're going to get run over.
No, I can't sit still. I've sat over and tried to retire, and my heart's in it so deep. I raced with a rookie here the last year or so. I've had such a great time with him. He works real hard. I really like to go down where just old Saturday night racers go, where a guy will take his family and you know, they'll beat around on a car. And I know years ago when I first went to Florida in the winter, I'd see these guys working on their modifieds. You know, they'd be building their engine on the tailgate of the truck, and the kids would be there and they would be homeschooling themselves or doing their homework because they got out of school for a couple weeks. And that just, I mean, that's what racing is all about, is having fun.
And the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down the road. Is there anything that separates your chassis from all the rest, technology-wise, trademark-wise, maybe? I mean, do you actually trademark these chassis? Hey, Molly,
If you took
come
my
on in
car-
here, Molly. Good girl.
All them cars out there, the only car that's different now is mine, and it's just got an option to be different.
That's interesting. My first memory of you, I'm from Toledo, and you know, here the promotion was CJ Rayburn's coming with this radical late model. I had seen an outlaw pavement late model car before, but I'd never seen one with a giant wing billboard up top, and you were going to set a new track record that day, and by God, you did. I mean,
Set a new world record.
okay, there you go, world record. I mean, what was the time on that? Do you remember?
1471.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing for a half
That goes
mile.
back-
And that was back in 80s, 70s, 80s?
84.
Yeah,
It's the first year I drove a race car.
that's so interesting.
Anytime them asphalt people, they would have a big race, you know, just for me, or, you know, to get me there. And, you know, a lot of them would give me 5,000 to show up and then race for 5,000.
That's a good day.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my first memory of
Butch
you.
Miller,
Yeah, Butch Miller. Did you beat him?
all the time.
Not a lot of people
He
can
come-
say I beat
he-
Butch Miller all the time.
He used to come in here. Oh, he's a great guy too.
He was a heck of a wheelman, for sure.
Oh, I can just tell you tales that's funnier than hell racing. Now, you know, naturally, I always tried to act like the dumbest hillbilly in the world. Dick Trickle said, well, the first time he met me, he thought I was the dumbest hillbilly in the world. And,
What do you watch racing on television?
you know, I'm not a racing fan, I know that. I know.
Well, that's interesting.
I like those guys a whole lot, and but I can watch the cars, especially on that May TV.
Mab TV, yeah.
Watch their cars and just tell what they're doing all the time.
Could you define success? I mean, what's your definition, or what spells success?
Well, determination and hard work and a little bit of common sense. And if you got a whole lot of common sense, it makes it easier. I hired good people and demanded, I guess, this is what we want, this is how I want you to get it. If they got it, then you'd pick on it, maybe change it a little bit. I know when we come up with a 4-bar, or then I went to watch linkage, and that's really what the 4-bar was made out of. But we had that thing, we worked on it, and I had a couple of guys ready to go racing. I think that was Boggs and Purvis. Of course, they was good drivers, are gonna win anyway, and that's what started the 4-bar car, and then everybody copied it.
I wanted to read you something real quick. I think your daughter is Eva. You have a daughter named Eva?
Yeah.
Well, I was just cruising around on your Facebook page, and Eva, your daughter, put a post up there. And I thought it was really, really, not a long post, but I thought it was really well written. I don't know if you ever read it or saw it, but it was, and I'm going to read it real quick here. It won't take long. Let me get through this. And it was a Father's Day thing. You know, it started out with, as you might expect, Happy Father's Day, Dad. You have taught me so much throughout my life, the value of hard work, and the importance of doing what you say you're going to do. That's a big one there to me. To never give up. Share what you have. You have lived an example of hospitality and offered a bed to those who are tired and weary, and food to those who are hungry. You have taught us to tell the truth. If you see something that needs done, don't wait for someone else to do it. You taught me forgiveness and acceptance. Thanks for always being there. That to me is the definition of success.
Well, you know, I spoke at Chamber of Commerce banquet. I'm not a good speaker. And it was about success. What you can do for people is what's successful. You know, if I'm successful, I can do a lot for myself. But if I'm real successful, I can do a lot for other people.
Have you ever had a conversation with Tony Stewart?
Yeah.
Yeah? How'd that go?
Oh, well, he drove my car.
Did
Yeah. I saw where he went in the Hall of Fame, and he thanked everybody that got him started. And he said, my dirt racing career, I think Steve Barnett, he never mentioned my name. Hell, I owned the cars.
What?
And all the money and everything.
Get him on the phone. We gotta chase that down. Has he ever been here to your shop?
Stewart?
Yeah.
Many times.
There's been a lot of IndyCar people here too.
Really? Like some of the IndyCar people that were here would be who?
Hunters, who
the-
was that guy who used to go motorcycle riding with from Hawaii?
Guys, Danny Young guys.
Danny Angaias has been here. The Unsers have been here. Tony
Unsers
Stewart's been
Stayed
here.
all night with me a couple times.
Did they really? You mean Al and Bobby or
No, Bobby.
Bobby? Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was sharp.
So why did Bobby Unser stay with you here? I mean, what brought him to CJ Rayburn Race Cars? Just to visit, or
Oh, I sold him a race car.
really?
Yeah. I sold Bobby Allison a race car.
So Tony, do you got any good Tony Stewart stories?
Tony Stewart, there's not any.
None you can tell anyway.
No, he's my buddy, and
Yeah.
I think a lot of him. He's done real good. And I knew him when he always had a personality too. You know.
He wasn't afraid to use it either.
And then, but when I first knew him, you know, like me, he acted like he knew me my whole life or something. And you know, he'd want me to come and watch him race. And of course I did. And he won about every race I ever saw him run.
But the state of the world right now, I mean, do you see any hope for America
Well,
going forward, or are we in indefinite trouble?
I think you know, you got a civil war going on between the Democrats and Republicans. The Democrats won't let him run the country at its best. Even though he's pretty radical, he could run the country. I think Pence is great. I don't know. I'd
Yeah.
like to see something come up for this coronavirus. You would think maybe they would have something by now.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like modern medicine has almost let us down. Like we can't figure this out. But I'm sure it's complicated, and we're still learning about it.
That would be good for it is good Sunoco gasoline
Oh, I haven't heard that solution yet.
or some good Valvoline motor oil.